Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen Marie and this is my channel Made by Karen Marie. So it is Friday evening and I decided to do a Friday sews today. I had planned on filming earlier this morning, but then things just happened and the day got away from me. I will, however, post this video today, so it will be a proper Friday sews. So how are you all doing? In Norway, we still are sort of in the middle of a heat wave and it has lasted a really long time. So how are you all doing? I hope you're doing really well. I've had a very active week because if you saw my video last week, you will know that we had planned to go up to my husband's family's cabin in the mountains. And we did. We went up on Tuesday morning and then we came back late last night. So we had 2 nights and 3 almost full days up there. And yeah, in that video last week, I did say that, you know, please to let me know if you wanted to come hiking with me up there. And several of you said, yes, please. So in this video, first, I'm going to tell you about some makes that I've been making or I'm in the process of making. I have an update for you on the trousers that I made for my brother. And then afterwards, I'll patch in the footage that I took up in the mountains. So if you're only here for the sewing bits, that's totally fine, totally understand that. But if you want to stay for the whole thing, that's also a possibility. And I will also try to remember to put in timestamps so that you can skip to the parts that you're most interested in. So anyway, yes, let us start with the trousers that I made for my brother. So if you follow my channel, you will know that I decided to make a pair of trousers for my elder brother. He had a birthday earlier in July and last weekend we were invited to celebrate him and my niece as a sort of joint birthday party because now they have returned from their holidays. So earlier this summer I did take his measurements, but it was really difficult to find the right size for him because he sort of fell into 2 widely different sizes in the Wardrobe by Me Chino pants pattern, which was the one that I used. So he is very, very straight and I know most men are, but there's like barely a centimeter difference between his hips and his waist. And I decided to sort of just go for it with a size. And once he sort of held it up towards himself, I could sort of see that it was going to be too big, and it was too big. And he did try them on, but it was a good size or 2 too big, I think, because he could sort of, you know, when he held he pinched sort of the waist on it and he had like this much too much pinched. So it's a good, I think, maybe 4 centimeters too large in the waist. And that, of course, meant that it wouldn't like hang right, even if he used like a belt to cinch it in. And it's not the kind of thing that can really be fixed. Even if I were to undo the waistband and do like larger darts and taking the side seams and everything, you would have to do so much that it would sort of, I think it would be difficult to fix without interference in the pockets and everything. However, as it turns out, I asked my husband to try it on and it's a much better fit for him. And they are still a little bit too big for him too, but he can sort of get away with it with a belt. So they didn't go to waste, they just ended up in my husband's closet instead of my brother's. My husband did try them on and they fit him really well in the back at least. So even though they are a little bit too big in the waist, I think they look nice, particularly from behind. But yeah, so he's going to wear them. So over to the next one. This is also a gift. It's going to be for my dad. He turns 85 next week, and I decided to make him a shirt. And it's going to be the Wardrobe by Me Jensen shirt that I have made previously for my husband. And I have now cut it out. So this is just the little remnant that I got. And it's this really like 70s plaid cotton, and it's really high quality cotton. I can just feel it. It's almost a bit flannelly, but it's really thin flannel, so he can still wear it like summer as well as winter. And yeah, I hope this one is going to fit. I've never made anything for my dad before, so yeah, fingers crossed for better luck this time. Okay, I have also been doing a little project for myself, and I've made my new Lotta dress. The Tilly and the Buttons Lotta is one of my favorite dresses, and they usually sew up really great and quick. This one, however, I am going to call my Bermuda dress because things just kept happening to it. Mysterious things that never happen when I sew Lottas suddenly happened on this one. And I decided when I bought this fabric from Rainbow Fabrics, it's a viscose, very unlike me to have anything with a sort of cat or leopard print or anything like that. Don't really go for those things, but I just couldn't resist this. And I love the color. So I knew it was going to be a Lotta, but then straight away I headed into trouble because I couldn't find my pattern. I still have no idea where my pattern is. I have searched everywhere for it and I couldn't find it anywhere. So first of all, I had to reprint it and re-stick it together. And that being done, I thought, now I'll cut it out. And then, things happen and holiday and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I was going to cut it out last weekend. Had my pattern, had my fabric, and then suddenly realized that I didn't have enough fabric. And I was absolutely certain that I could do that pattern with 2 meters. Turns out the fabric requirement for my size is actually 2.5 meters. And the reason why it's such a simple dress needs 2.5 meters for my size is because of the very wide skirt part of it. So I can't fit 2 pattern pieces, skirt pieces next to one another on the fabric because the fabric isn't wide enough for that. And then, yeah, so I was thinking because I really wanted a Lotta out of this. And I, tried everything like the pattern Tetris that we all try when we don't really have enough fabric. And I suddenly saw that I could actually make it happen if I cut it out on the cross grain. I was a little bit hesitant for that because, well, it does hang. So I was a little worried that it wouldn't hang right if I cut it out on the cross grain. So that was my first thing. And then obviously too, this is a pattern that has cats on them. And I thought, what if they all end up on the sort of side when I wear them? Are they going to look ridiculous? So the cats actually go in almost all directions. So some of them are facing with their heads up this way, some with that way, and so on. So I thought maybe I could get away with it anyway. So cut it out on the cross grain, just managed to do it. And then I thought, I've sewn several Lottas now. I think this is my 4th. So I knew I had to do that, and then I started sewing and things immediately started to be weird. No idea what I did, but I have to say, I don't think this is the best quality viscose, and it was quite difficult to sew with. It was very, very slippery, and I know viscose often is, but this one really was very slippery and it kept shifting on me a lot. I should have used the spray starch, I think, when I cut it out, because even though I did use my rotary cutter, it wanted to shift, even though I had my pattern weights, I had like pinned everything, it kept shifting. So when I sewed the two skirt pieces together, I could already then see that something had gone wrong because it was really crooked. Yeah, so then I just went along with it, constructed as usual. Then I had a problem with the facing because no matter what I did, it wanted to make a pucker in the back, just right here. So I had to unpick that at least 3 times until I could fit that in. Never had that problem before with the Lotta. I think it is because it's very lightweight viscose and not very high quality. So, but then in the end, I managed to get that sewn in, and I don't like loose facings, so I stitch mine down. I then sewed the top to the skirt, business as usual. That went fine. And then, threading the elastic, then that suddenly became a problem. And the elastic kept like turning on me and I couldn't pull it through on the side suddenly, and then I ruined one of my safety pins. Yeah, and then I had to use pliers to remove that from the fabric because the top of the safety pin had sort of ate into the fabric. So yeah, I think I spent an hour getting the elastic in, which is ridiculous. And this one is still not perfect because I think it has twisted in there, even though I was really, really careful and I did do it 3 times. So then, yeah. And then when I was stitching it, I'm not kidding, this is a saga. When I was stitching the waist seam down that sort of forms the casing for the elastic, which I've done several times, not ever having any problems with it, then I managed to stitch part of the skirt into that. So I had to unpick, and of course this fabric is not great for unpicking. And then I realized that there was a run in the fabric, and this was actually not my fault. This was a fault in the fabric, I'm pretty sure, because I had not been anywhere near that place. So when I held the top up, I could see like that there obviously had been like one thread missing in there. And by that time I just thought, you know what, I'll put a strip of interfacing behind it to prevent any more of that, and then just let it go. And then when all of that was finished, then I hemmed it. That was okay, and I used this bias tape to hem it because I actually think that a little extra weight on the hem makes it sort of fall better. And then I managed to sew the label in crooked. I mean, don't look if you don't like sweary labels. This one is a bit naughty. This one, this Lotta dress, which is a really, really simple dress that anyone can make. And I mean anyone. I don't care if you've never sewn before. This is the dress that you learn how to sew because it's so, so simple. And I managed to make a complete hash of it. So, but anyway, you know, you have to laugh at this. I have to laugh at myself sometimes because when I've said this before, but sometimes when I've sewn something several times, I get a little bit complacent and then think that I could just plow through it and be done, and then stuff starts happening. So yeah. But that was the saga of the Lotta dress. And it just goes to show that even though I've sewn for quite a few years now and consider myself sort of an intermediate sewist at least, even the simplest of garments can go really, really wrong sometimes. So this is my Bermuda dress. So anyway, I've been going on for a really long time now, and I'm going to cut to my footage from our little mountain trip. And you know, if you're not interested in that, that's fine. And then I hope to see you all later. And if you're interested, stay put and you can see some footage from my trip up the mountains. We are up in the mountains actually. And if you saw my last video, you will know that I asked you whether you were interested in coming along on a little mountain adventure, and you said yes. So here I am. We drove up to the mountain cabin that's owned by my husband's family, and we arrived a couple of hours ago, and I'm just out for a little afternoon stroll now. I'm not going really like properly hiking today. It's too late in the day to start that, I think. So yeah, I'm just going for a little stroll and enjoying the scenery. Unfortunately, even though I bought microphones for the purpose of being able to film with better sound quality, especially outside, yeah, I forgot them at home. So sorry about that. You know, if the sound turns out to be terrible, I will just not post this video. So it's not really a big deal. So I'm sort of walking along this little dirt track that leads to the cabin. That's way back there. And as you can see, it's a nice little area with lots of little cabins on. They are, like, most of them are pretty simple. Our cabin is very simple. There's no real electricity inside. We have a solar panel, so we can charge our phones and stuff like that, but it's, you know, and no plumbing. So there's an outhouse and everything. So it's really, really simple, standard. But we love it up here. And the scenery is absolutely gorgeous. But just where I am now, we're sort of in a little, well, wooded area with a lot of cabins. So I'll try over the next couple of days to film a little of the scenery while I walk. So my two girls just went for a little walk on their own a good half hour ago. They were going down to the sort of local water fountain to fill up their water bottles. Use that as an excuse to go on a little walk. So I'm headed in that direction too. So maybe I'll catch up with them. I am wearing something not very mountain appropriate, as you can see. I am wearing my LB pullover in the Indian block print. that I got from Rainbow Fabrics. And yeah, it's sort of an Hawaiian shirt in the middle of a Norwegian mountain range. So, but it was really, really hot and humid when I left home this morning, so I needed something that would breathe. Yeah, I think I have brought my Quilt Folk magazine from the Idaho issue, and I have now read all the articles in the Oregon issue that I got, and I must say I really enjoyed that read. I read every article, quite short articles, but it's so interesting to sort of learn the stories behind all of these amazing quilters and shop owners and everything. So I'm looking forward to having a quiet night with my Quilt Folk magazine tonight. And tomorrow I think I'm going hiking with my eldest. She's very much into hiking, so and you know, I have the proper boots and the gear and everything for that. So yeah, we're probably going hiking tomorrow. Totally out of breath with only that little hill, so I don't know how fun hiking will be tomorrow, but yeah, I'll do my best. Good morning. It's Wednesday and I'm in the forest here up at the mountainside at the moment. We have to pass through this little forest to get way up to the mountains, and I'm joined with my daughter who's just walked ahead a little bit, and I just wanted to take you along with me on my hike. It's really warm. I'm wearing a Tilly and the Buttons Tabitha t-shirt today, and yeah, let's go along for a hike. Up there is she. Okay, so we've cleared the little foresty area down there, and now the view is really doing its thing. Over there, that little mountain range that you can see there, all of those peaks are about 2,000 meters. So yeah. Okay. And now we are headed up, further up this little way here. And the peak is up behind that tree. A little further up now. And this is the lovely view. So this big lake is really beautiful. It's called Furusjön, Pine Lake. Maybe you could see in the middle there where I've zoomed in, that's a hotel, and right next to it is a really wonderful cafe with the most luxurious cinnamon rolls you'll ever taste. So we're going to buy one afterwards, aren't we? Yes. Yes. Out, so I'll just zoom out so you can see the whole beautiful picture. Oh yeah. Sorry about the wind noise up here, but we have now reached the initial goal, but we're feeling so fit today that we're going to head for the next little peak too. But we are having a little rest here, and I wish I had this view with my lunch every day. So yeah, we're having a really good time. I'm wearing my trusty old hiker's shoes. They're nearly worn out now. And it's really warm and lovely today. And we're having a little snack too. Oh yeah. Alright, so here we are, mother and daughter, on our little hike today.
so grateful that she still lets me tag along, even though she has to wait for me all the time. Okay, see you in a little bit.
So that was all the footage that I managed to take on our little hike. I hope you enjoyed coming with us and that you enjoyed the view as much as we did. It's really, really difficult to sort of capture the majestic greatness of it all, of being in it. But I hope you got a little peek into what we're doing on our little mountain escape. So anyway, I'm now very, very interested to hear what you think of my new Lotta. Do you think it was worth the effort of making that dress? And yeah, any other comments you want to leave me, I appreciate that. I get a little spark of joy every time you leave me such nice comments. Anyway, I will be back soon with another video. So until then, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.